Good morning, children. Welcome to your English literature class. In our previous session, you have read the text of the story My Financial Career, page number 135 and 136, along with the discussion of related questions, phrases, and word meanings. Today, we will continue the same story from page number 137. By the end of this video, you will be able to express story in your own words, meanings of difficult words and phrases, and you will be able to answer the related questions. Now open your page 137, chapter number 16, My Financial Career, written by Stephen Leacock. Let's begin today's class. Children, so far we have read how the narrator entered a bank nervously. Everything in the bank made the narrator nervous. He had come to bank to deposit his money, but the manager of that bank doubted him to be a detective. This made the narrator more nervous. He assured the manager that he was not a detective at all and had intended to keep all his money in his bank. At last, when the manager came to know that the narrator was neither a detective nor a millionaire, he sent him to the accountant to deposit the money. Now children, before we start reading, let's revise meanings of difficult words and phrases of page number 137. Draw out, to remove. Thrust, to place with great energy. Reckless, without thinking about the effects of behavior. Astonished, surprised. Wretched, poor. Fearfully, horribly. Quick temper, become unpleasant when angry. Dryly, in an ironically humorous way. Swung, turned suddenly. Echo, repetition of sound waves from a surface back to the listener. Roar, loud, deep sound. Let's move towards the phrases. Up to the ceiling of the bank. बैंक की छत तक. Stepped into, में कदम रखा. Clutched in, में जकड़ा हुआ. Every cent of it, इसका हर प्रतिशत या फिर इसका हर सेंट. Now let's start our reading of page number 137. He made me write the sum on a piece of paper and sign my name in a book. I no longer knew what I was doing. The bank was going round and round before my eyes. Is it deposited? I asked in a hollow, vibrating voice. It is, said the accountant. Then I want to draw a check. My idea was to draw out $6 of it for present use. Someone gave me a checkbook through a little window and someone else began telling me how to write it out. The people in the bank had the impression that I was a millionaire who had something wrong with him. I wrote something on the check and thrust it in at the clerk. He looked at it. The accountant asked the writer to write down the amount on a form which he wanted to deposit and sign it. He didn't know what he was doing because of his nervousness. The bank was going round and round before narrator's eyes because he was really feeling dizzy. After depositing money, that was $56, the narrator informed the accountant that he wanted to draw a check. He wanted to withdraw $6 of the deposited amount for his present use. He got a checkbook from someone through a little window, and someone else guided him how to write on it. The people in the bank were under an impression that the narrator was a rich man, but there was something wrong with him. After filling the amount in the check, he pushed it at the clerk. "What? Are you drawing it all out again?" he asked in surprise. Then I realized that I had written 56 instead of 6. I was too far gone to reason now. I had a feeling that it was impossible to explain the thing. All the clerks had stopped writing to look at me. Reckless with misery, I made up my mind. Yes, the whole thing. You withdraw your money from the bank? Every cent of it. Are you not going to deposit any more? Said the clerk, astonished. Never. A foolish hope struck me that they might think something had insulted me while I was writing the check, and that I had changed my mind. I made a wretched attempt to look like a man with a fearfully quick temper. To hide his foolish mistake, the narrator pretended that somebody had insulted him in the bank, and so he had decided to withdraw all his money back. The narrator tried to give an impression that he was a man who could easily get angry. What mistake did the writer commit after depositing the money? After depositing money, he wanted to withdraw $6 for his present use, but he wrote 56 instead of 6 on the check. All the clerks started looking at him. The writer didn't rectify his mistake, as he had a feeling that it was impossible for him to explain the things to everyone. What? Are you drawing it all out again? Who said this line and to whom? The clerk said this line to the narrator. You withdraw your money from the bank? Who said this line and to whom? The clerk said this line to the narrator. Every cent of it. Who said this line and to whom? The narrator said this line to the clerk. The clerk prepared to pay the money. How will you have it? He said. What? How will you have it? Oh, I caught his meaning and answered without even trying to think, in 50s. He gave me a $50 bill. And the 6? He asked dryly. In 6s, I said. He gave it to me and I rushed out. As the big door swung behind me, I caught the echo of a roar of laughter that went up to the ceiling of the bank. Since then, I bank no more. I keep my money in cash in my trousers pocket and my saving in silver dollars in a sock. Children, the clerk was ready to pay the money. He asked the writer how he would have the money, and the writer replied him without even trying to think that he would like to have money in 50s. That is, a note of $50. The clerk asked him in an ironically humorous way how he would like to have the rest of $6. The writer foolishly answered him in 6s. After getting money, he rushed out of the bank. What was the reaction of the bank staff when he rushed out of the bank? The bank staff laughed loudly at his silly mistakes and behavior when he rushed out of the bank. After this misadventure in the bank, where did the narrator keep his money? The writer's bank experience was a nightmare. He had become the laughingstock of the people in the bank. Since then, he didn't deposit or withdraw any money from the bank. He felt satisfied, easy and relaxed with keeping his savings with him. He kept his money in cash in his trousers pocket and saving in silver dollars in a sock. Why do you think the narrator was behaving in this way? The narrator was nervous and kept committing blunder after blunder in order to hide his mistakes. Therefore, he behaved in that way. Explain laughter that went up to the ceiling of the bank. These words mean that the roar of laughter could be heard by the narrator even outside the bank. How will you have it? He said. Who said this line and to whom? The clerk said this line to the narrator. Now students, this brings us to the end of reading of the story. I hope you will be able to answer the related questions. Now open your book at page number 141 and let us discuss time to write exercise. You have been asked by a bank to draft a wanted poster seeking information about the robbers. Prepare a draft of the poster. Now children, you have to give information about two criminals. Remember students to include the important details like names and physical descriptions etc. if available of the men, date and address of the attempt, reward offered, phone numbers or the other contact details of the person to be contacted if there is any information. Now students, you can do this creative writing in this way. Wanted as a heading, picture of the criminals, name Michael and Richie, age 21 years, 27 years, height 5 feet 6 inches, 5 feet 8 inches, weight 155 pound, 173 pounds, eyes brown, hair black, reward money $20,000. Michael and Richie are wanted by New York State Police on an arrest warrant for criminal attempt to rob a bank on 3rd July 2020. Anyone with information as to whereabouts of the individuals should contact New York State Police at 0123 456789 or email at newyorkpolice@gmail.com. Now your homework is to read the text and revise questions 1 till 4 and write time to write in your fair copy in your own words.